What is up, Thin fans? Already got Dominic Moneyman and Scotty Joe in the building. What's up, fellas? We're going to be talking some Miami Dolphin football. How's everyone doing today? Just like usual, let me know you can hear me. That's always like first and foremost, because if you guys can't hear me, then there's no point. What's up, Team TFG? How you doing, bud? We're going to be talking. So if you guys noticed, I have a series going on my channel where I roster breakdowns. And we're going to do the final roster breakdown live together. How fun is that? So, yeah, that's the plan for today. We're going to do the roster breakdown for the secondary. We're going to do our thing like a chicken wing. And then we'll talk football. I'm going to hang out with you guys for an hour. We're going to talk football. We got questions, got answers. We got things to do. And let's jump into it. So first, let me say hi to everyone that just came in. What's up, Mark? What's up, Richard? Roadrunner. What is up, bud? Russell, Speed Stacking Boy. What's up? Haven't seen you in a minute. How you doing, bud? What's up, Danny? Andrew, EM in the house. What's up, brother? How you doing? We're going to be talking secondary EM, and I know you got some things to say about your boy, Nick Needham. So looking at that. What's up, Dorji? No, I didn't mute. I don't mute anybody, just so you guys know. Just to give you guys a heads up. I let my mods know not to mute anyone unless they're you can tell when somebody deserves to be muted or deserves a 30-second timeout, because it's like you could just see them spamming, being dumb. So, yeah. Can you live stream Marlins versus Mets? I might. I'm going to have to put my hat on, my Mets hat on. How many of you guys in the chat are Marlin fans? And how many are Abner says cut Needham. Abner is a very advocate that Nick Needham sucked, which statistically is not right. But we'll let Abner think what he does. How you doing, Abner? How you doing, bud? What's up, Luca? I'm a better G Marlins fan, Luca says. Dolphin Dwayne. What's up, Dwayne? How you doing, bud? Bill, Andrew, at the number 5 overall pick, who do you think we should drive, or what position, I guess I should say, because I'm hearing the Lions might actually draft 2 at 3. You're going to hear a lot of things. I made a video about it. Go back and watch my draft rumors video where literally I talked about that. That's essentially what's happening right now. Rumors. Mets and Dolphins, Scotty. Let's go Mets. But that's what's going to be happening. As soon as the Lions came out and said they are open for business with that number 3 pick, you have no idea how many people were like, Doug, Doug, did you see this? What's up, Weak Path? How you doing, bud? Ronnie, what's up? Okay, so let's jump into this. We'll jump right into, it's not where you pick, it's who you pick, but kids just say no. What do you think about trading Slay and pairing him up with Howard? I don't know if I'm trading for Slay, Darius Slay. Might cost a pretty penny. I don't know if I'm doing that. You watch hockey, Phil? I don't watch hockey, but if I had a team to root for, it'd obviously be the Devils because I'm in New Jersey. Trade down, Luca. I wouldn't be against trade down. What's up, unapologetic truth? I wouldn't be against trading down. Depends on how far down we trade. So what position should you pick at 5 then? Andrew, best player. Dolphins have so many needs. It comes to best player in my mind. Say Tua's gone. Joe Burrow's gone. Chase Young gone. Okuda's gone. Take best player. Is that Simmons? Is that Andrew Thomas? Is that, best player? Whatever we need. And then if people want to give us a first next year to move up to the 5th spot to take a Herbert, you think about that. Having 3 firsts next year and 3 firsts this year could actually really help the team. These are things you got to think about. You know what I'm saying? Yo, Doug, you need an extra mod. I'm all for it. I'll think about it, Josie. Let's see how you do in this chat. I'm in Jersey too and a Devils fan. Nice. Do you think Diggs would be worth it? No. That's going to cost a lot too. And this wide receiver draft is really, really deep that I don't know if Stephon Diggs is going to get, or the Vikings are going to get a high pick for him because of how deep this draft is. I think it's a bluff. They want the Dolphins front office to bite and trade up. Yeah. But that's the thing we got to remember, guys. Last year, with the Dolphins and the trades they did and all that stuff, they didn't have the front office personnel that they have this year. They didn't have Allen. They didn't have McKenzie. They didn't have these scouts. It's different. It's the same as with Chris Greer, but it's different in the aspect of who they brought in to help. What's up, Brad? How you doing, bud? Williams and Park will be good if we don't take anyone. I could see the Dolphins drafting a wide receiver. To say that they won't draft a wide receiver is kind of like, you can't really say it, but I could see them drafting a wide receiver. What's up, Malcolm? How you doing? Okay, let's jump into this. Let's talk about the secondary. I want to get this done, and then we'll talk about whatever you guys want to do. So let's jump into, what's up, Mr. Miami 305? How you doing today? How you feeling today? I'm blessed living today, brother. I'm feeling good too. It's a nice day in Jersey. It's a really nice day. So let's jump into this. Let's jump into the secondary. Now, if you guys have noticed from my formats of all my other roster breakdowns from quarterbacks to linebackers, I start with saying what our depth chart looked like at the start of the season, week 1, and then what it looked like at the end of the season. And then I break down stats. I talk about some predominant players, what we should do, and then talk about free agency, draft, and then all that stuff. So what I'm going to do, all right, sounds good, Luca. What I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about the start and the end, the breakdown, and then I'll see what you guys feel. Then we'll talk about some stats, see what you guys feel. What, Kevin? You're not on the shit list, Kevin. You gotta understand, man. I'm trying to do this, and then I get to you. What's up, Kevin? What's up, big boy? What's up, guys? I just want to get this done with, and then we're gonna chat. Okay. So to start the season, our roster breakdown was, Xavier Howard, Eric Rowe, Mika Fitz was the roamer. We'll talk about Mika Fitz if you guys want to. I don't really care. And then when it comes to safeties, it was Rashad Jones and Bobby McCain. The end of the season, the secondary, the only same player from the beginning of the season to the end of the season in the secondary was Eric Rowe. He jumped from being our corner to our safety. So the end of the season, it was Nick Needham, Webster, and Ryan Lewis. And the secondary was Eric Rowe and Stephen Parker. So huge change. A lot of injuries, a lot of moves, a lot of things happen from the beginning of the season to the end of the season. Xavier Howard got injured, Rashad Jones got injured, Bobby McCain got injured, Mika Fitzpatrick is a giant man-child who got traded. So, a lot of change. So when it comes to the secondary, when it comes to how the secondary played, it wasn't the worst part of our team, and it's very hard to judge. It's very hard to judge how the secondary did, especially with a defensive line that was really bad and got no pressure on the quarterback. You leave these corners and these safeties out on an island. What's up, Max? They're going to do horribly because the quarterback has 9 years to run around and throw the ball. So, Nick Needham, Bobby McCain, and Stephen Parker led the team with 3 interceptions. The defense in a whole, and the secondary in a whole, 7.7 yards per attempt on pass. That's not too great. What's up, Chris? How you doing, bud? 30th in the NFL and 32nd in the NFL when it came to touchdowns, I think it was. What's up, Jeff? 26th in passing yards and 12th in interceptions. So they got their turnovers, but everything else kind of was bad. It was bad. I definitely want a quarterback at first. Can we get Patrick Peterson? Scotty. I'm hearing that Patrick Peterson is going to sign a contract extension. Thank you, Daniel. Love you too, bud. So I don't know if Patrick Peterson will be coming to Miami. I'll talk about some of the free agents that the Dolphins probably could target in like 2 seconds. What's up, brother Jeff? How are you doing today? How you feel today? Oh. So when some of the top stories, right? Some of the top things that we need to talk about when it comes to the secondary, Xavier Howard got a new contract this year, and Eric Rowe got a new contract this year. Eric Rowe did really, really, really well when they moved him from corner to safety. When they took him, what's up, Gator, from that corner position and put him where they wanted Mika to play. And he started doing really, really well. So they gave him a contract extension, 3-year, 18 million, 7 million guaranteed. It's not a huge contract extension. It's not something that's going to break the bank and make us regret. What's up, Nirvana? Make us regret, all that's, the signing of him. It's a nice contract extension. Xavier Howard got his contract extension, 5 years, 76 million. Over the next 3 years, 39 million is guaranteed, fully guaranteed. So he's probably going to be making about 12 million, 13 million a year. Tom Brady needs to announce his retirement. He's not. He's going to play like 2 more years. Don't forget, be sure to hit that like button for Josie. You got 74 in here. We're going 26 likes. Be sure to hit that like button. So, and then we have the Xavier Howard situation with the off the field issues with his fiance, and the charges are dropped, but the NFL is going to make a stand. The NFL is going to probably suspend him for 2 games just because, after the whole Ray Rice situation, the NFL has been super, super, super strict on domestic violence. So we can expect Xavier Howard to get suspended for some point. Will the Dolphins do something about it? Will the Dolphins trade him, cut him? They're not cutting him because it's a lot of dead cap if they cut him. But there's that possibility, right? So we have to see what happens with Xavier Howard, and then we can move forward with what we're going to do with the secondary. And then Bobby McCain and Rashad Jones. Let's talk about Bobby McCain and Rashad Jones, right? Bobby McCain, $6.2 million if he was cut this year. Well, he's due $6.2 million, and if he's cut, $5.2 million in dead cap. That's not a lot of dead cap, but the way I see it is I prefer to keep him, and I would prefer her to put him back at the slot corner. I'd keep Eric Rowe at safety, and then you have Rashad Jones, who's due $15 million this year, $10.1 million in dead cap. Rashad Jones isn't going anywhere. I don't see Rashad Jones going anywhere. So I would take Bobby McCain, put him back in slot corner, have Rashad Jones back there with Eric Rowe. That's what I personally would do. And then I still would draft a safety to take over for Rashad Jones when he's gone, because I think this will be his last year on the team. If they don't find a way to trade him for like a 6th, because his contract is huge. I don't know if I could see him going for anything less than that. So that's essentially the Dolphins situation in the secondary when it comes to, the stories, the contracts, start, finish, stats, all that stuff. So let's see what you guys are talking about. Before we talk about free agency and the draft, NFL about to drop the hammer on New England Patriots. Dunbar, I heard, is one of the best in the NFL, better than Howard, some say. I don't think so. Let me see. Because I know Dunbar didn't play much of the season. Let me pull up his stats. Quinton Dunbar. Afternoon to you, Mace. How you doing, bud? So Quinton Dunbar has been in the league since 2015. We'll talk about some of the possible trade candidates. I think Miami makes the trade to secure 3 to secure 2. I don't know if I'd be happy with that. I kind of don't want the Dolphins to trade up. What's up? I am Dumb Boy. 98 in the room, only 38 likes. Yeah, be sure to hit that like button, people. David, why not a bologna bologna sandwich? Burrow is finna to be a beast. We'll see. Nirvana. The fact that he had one good year, I don't know. What's up, Roberto? How you doing? Been a long time since I made a live stream. Merch pick coming soon. Yes. If you guys bought some merch, please email me a pic of you guys wearing the merch so I can put you guys in one of my videos. So let's get back to Dunbar. We'll talk about some of the trade prospects. So there's Dunbar that a lot of people are talking about. Hey, should the Dolphins go after Dunbar? He's been in the league since 2015. He played about 11 games last year. 2018, he played about 7 games. 2017, he never played a full season. Never played a full season. He had 4 interceptions last year, 2 the year before that, and 1 in the other 3 years. But you can't really go by stats. You got to go by play, how they play, how many times are they thrown at, press coverage, if they get beat, all that stuff. To say he's better than Xavier Howard, I don't know if I would agree with that. The They both haven't played a full season. They both have been, dealing with injuries. I don't know. I don't know if I trade for him. He's 27. He's not up there in age. But I don't know. I feel like there's better options. Thank you. The first person I actually want to keep Jones. Yeah. Well, it's not just a matter of I like Rashad Jones. I think when he's healthy, he's really good. But also it's the money. According to TD, if they don't play all 16 games, they aren't worth anything. Well, it depends on why they didn't play all 16 games. If they didn't play all 16 games because they suck and they got benched, then yeah, they're not worth anything. But Xavier Howard, this is the thing about Xavier Howard. The man, when he's on the field, is dangerous. Absolutely dangerous. One-on-one, like the Steelers game. If he stayed on the field in the Steelers game, he would have won us the game. He was picking off Rudolph left and right. So he's dangerous. He's absolutely dangerous on the field. It's just the thing is he's got a little bit of Devontae Parker syndrome where he can't stay on the field. And I'm hoping he takes note from Devontae Parker and gets healthy and stays on the field because he'll be dangerous. What's up, Matt? How you doing? What's up, Sheriff? Hey, Doug, my first time catching you live. You do a fantastic job on football knowledge for us Fin fans. Thank you. I appreciate that. What's good with Talib? Aqib Talib is not going to be on the team. It is what it is. He has not once traveled to Florida, not once been in the Dolphins organization, like in the building. It was more, hey, we'll pay for it. Just give us a draft pick. And that's what it is, What's up, Brandon? How you doing, bud? So, yeah, I wouldn't trade for Quinton Dunbar if it depends though. It also depends on how much they want. We all know TD's football attitude non-existent. Howard is also dangerous near Red. Come on, Red. Howard is basically told to get ready for next year. That's what I'm hearing. That's what I'm thinking too, Week Path. That's what I'm thinking. Like they shut him down because they're like, look, we already lost 7 games in a row. There's really no point in pushing this guy. Get your knee ready and be ready for next year to be fully healthy. Exactly that way we can get 4 or 5 year contracts on good talent. So let's talk about free agency, right? Because I'm not talking about Mika Fitzpatrick. I've talked about Mika Fitzpatrick to death. And you guys know how I feel. You guys knew how I feel from jump with Mika Fitzpatrick. And then a lot of people told me, no, it's because the Dolphins organization sucked. And as time went on, as the offseason went on, he talked more and more. He's kept flapping his gums and he just kept making himself look like a big old idiot. So let's talk about free agency. Let's talk about some of the safeties and corners that are available in free agency. Now you have trades, right? Like you have the Quinton Dunbar possible trade. You have the Darius Slay possible trade. Hargraves was cut, so he's thrown out there. You have Byron Jones from the Cowboys. These are corners that I'll talk about. Trey Waynes, Bradbury, Chris Harris, who could be a good slot corner. But again, we have Bobby McCain, who I prefer. What's up, Russell? I'd prefer to put Bobby McCain at slot corner. And then Logan Ryan. Logan Ryan is a guy who's not being talked about a lot. Logan Ryan is a free agent that no one's really talking about. They're talking about the Byron Joneses, Trey Waynes, Bradbury. They're talking about these guys, but no one's really talking about Logan Ryan. I would like to pick up Logan Ryan. Get Logan Ryan in here, see what he could do. Because, Nick Needham, like I said, he didn't do bad at the second half of the season, all that stuff. But Logan Ryan makes you go, all right. Let me see what I think about Logan Ryan. And then when it comes to safety, you have Anthony Harris from Minnesota, Justin Simmons from Denver, and McCourty from New England. So, those are a bunch of possibilities in the secondary. Now, when it comes to what the Miami Dolphins are doing in free agency, because if you guys follow me on Twitter, be sure to follow me on Twitter. There was an article that was put out. I think the Dolphins Pro Football Focus put an article out. Logan Ryan is the cornerback from the Tennessee Titans, Russell. Josh Norman, I'm not paying Josh Norman. He's too old, and I think he's past his prime. I'm not paying Josh Norman. They had a list of like 50 or 60 free agents and who will, where will they land? They had the Dolphins signing one, and that was Thuney. And I was like, you're talking about the team that has the most money cap space this offseason is only going to sign one free agent out of 60 something. Like, are you kidding me? I would not take any free agents over 29. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Brett, because they're building for the future. So to take these corners, well, it depends. I wouldn't say no, Brett. I wouldn't say they definitely won't. I said they might pick up one or two, but not for a big big contract. But the Dolphins are building for the future. So they want these players that'll be here in 3-4 years. But they had to sign in one player. One. Now, do I think that the Dolphins are going to buy or sign the top 5 free agents and make it? No. They'll probably take 1 or 2 top free agents, and then they'll start taking like a Logan Ryan. Logan Ryan isn't considered a top corner, but I could see that happening. Doug, running back in free agency, no one is talking about our running back woes because top 3 most important position. Unapologetic truth. Go back and watch my roster breakdown of the running backs. I talked about it. I don't think that got a lot of views. A lot of my roster breakdown videos didn't get a lot of views. But yeah, I did them all. If you guys are wondering, like, hey, Doug, what about offensive line? Hey, Doug, what about defensive line? Why aren't you talking about this position, that position? I talked about all of them. I started at quarterback back 3 weeks ago. I did quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end, offensive line, defensive line, linebackers, and now I'm doing the secondary with you guys. So be sure to hit that like button. So that's free agency, right? That's free agency. If I'm looking at free agency, I probably would only because Byron Jones is going to be a huge contract. Trey Waynes, that's a good possibility. I'd probably go Logan Ryan, Trey Waynes, and do that. Doug, if we had a chance to sign Jack Conklin, do we sign him? I heard he's not that good in pass protection, but he's great run blocker. What do you think about that? I would go for Jack Conklin. I like Jack Conklin and Thuney, and then I draft everything else. That's what I would do. So that's free agency. Let's talk draft. Is it possible that the Dolphins, Kendall Fuller, that's another possibility. He's also not being talked about that much. Edge rushers, I already did edge rushers. I did that. When did I do edge rushers? I did edge rushers a week ago. So you guys can go back and check out all that stuff. So I'm talking about the draft. There's a ton of possibilities for the Dolphins at corner in the draft. You got Okudah, like Richard just said. You got Kristen Fulton from LSU. You got Diggs from Alabama, CJ Henderson from Florida. There's a lot of possibilities for a draft. Yeah, I don't see Okudah making it to 5, to be honest with you. I think either the Giants or the Lions are going to take Okudah. That's why there's no real need to trade up for Tua. For all the people that want Tua, and again, I haven't shown my hand. But there's no real need. Like, say Burrow or Chase Young go 1, right? 2 will either be Burrow or Chase Young. 3, I will be either Okudah, or maybe like Simmons, someone for their defense, because Matt Patricia is a defensive-minded coach. Giants, I probably would go. They'd probably go Okudah, or they'd probably go Simmons, or maybe even Andrew Thomas, because they need offensive line help. And then, yeah, Dolphins sitting at 5. There's no point in moving up. So then we have secondary. Now, I mean safeties. I would draft the safety. I would draft the safety in the first 2 rounds if I'm the Dolphins. Because like I said, Rashad Jones might be on the team this year because his contract is huge, and to cut him, we would eat $10 million in cap space. So he'd probably be on the team, but we need a successor when he leaves. So I would probably draft a safety in the top 5 picks we have, top 2 rounds. Probably late first, early second. And then you got McKinney from Alabama, Delpit from LSU, you got Davis from California, or you got Winfield from Minnesota. Those are all possibilities at those picks, especially McKinney and Delpit. I would probably take McKinney or Delpit 26 or early second round. That's probably where I would go with that. But that's essentially, what I think about the secondary. Also, guys, don't forget about Tankersley. I'm making a mess. Tankersley, he was on IR, tried to come back, and he tried, but they decided to go with bringing back Van Ginkel instead of Tankersley. So he's another possibility of a comeback and playing well. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with Tankersley. He could have came back, but I think the Dolphins needed that linebacker help more, and they wanted to see what they got out of Van Ginkel. But that's the secondary. That's the breakdown of the secondary. That's the end of my roster breakdown series. Now we're going to go into cut and sign and breaking down each free agency position and who the Dolphins should target and stuff like that. But that's it. You guys really want me to talk about special teams? Like, be honest with me. Do you really want me to talk about special teams? Are you doing your own draft where you pick a quarterback and don't pick? Yeah, Dominic. But that's not, the draft isn't for 2 months, so I'm not jumping on that. Cut everyone. Trenches, trenches, trenches. First place. Don't screw it up. No, yeah, see, like, no special teams. Say, like, Jason Sanders is going to be our kicker next year. We might get a new punter. That's all you really need to know. It's like, who we doing? Who's doing what? But yeah, that's essentially the brunt of what I wanted to talk about when it came to this video. Do the roster breakdown live with you guys. So let's see what you guys are talking about. What are you guys talking about? We got 59 likes. I got 131 of you guys in this room. Why aren't we at 100 likes? Why do you guys hate me so much? Hey, I just got those same Target cups. Oh, these? Yeah, I'm drinking some water. We bought these, I think, like a year or two ago. They could trade for a corner. I don't know if they're going to trade for one. Ronald, I don't see the Dolphins really trading much. They didn't get all this cap space draft picks to trade them all away. Maybe the later rounds, the 5th, 6thers, because we have 3 of each. But yeah, I don't see that happening. I agree moving Mccain back to slot and Rowe and Jones at safety and finally getting an elite corner to pair up with Howard. That would be great. Yeah. You never know, though. Nick Needham started really becoming something at the end of the year, you know? I'm waiting for the comp picks to come out. I want to see what I know the Dolphins are getting one for Juwan James. I want to see what they're going to get for the other ones. Don't trade away draft picks. Doug, what would you consider is our base defensive scheme? Probably 3-4. Yeah, I think we run a 3-4 base, but we have so many like different formations. It's ridiculous. 3-4. Sometimes they go into a 4-3. Sometimes they go into a 5-2. Sometimes they go into that roaming defense where they're all standing up, and except for one defensive lineman. It's whatever can confuse the offense, and it started to work as the season started to go on. But he doesn't. This is the thing that people also need to realize about this past season. Brian Flores took on a team, right? Brian Flores took on a team that had players who were playing for themselves. Kiko Alonso is one of them, right? They were just doing them because they wanted to look good, whatever. They don't care about anyone else. Thanks, James. Jersey boys sticking together. So he took on a team that had bloated contracts. Bloated contracts. And it was players that were playing for themselves. They didn't really care. All that stuff. So he was like, well, we need to get rid of these types of players that don't want to buy into the system. So that's what they did. And a lot of people thought they were tanking for that, but that's not what they were doing. He was building his team from the ground up. And he tried to run his defense with guys who probably didn't fit his style of defense. Like Charles Harris. That man, I gave that man 9,000 chances, and it just didn't. It's not working out, my man. It's just not working out. Oh, don't talk about that standing up nonsense. That did not work. It did work, Dave. It did work. There's a ton of times it worked, and they got a ton of pressure. Some of those blitzes where Bobby McCain got in and just overshot, not Bobby McCain, Jerome Baker got in and overshot the quarterback. That was a lot of that roaming defense. It did work. He just doesn't have the personnel. And this is the offseason where he's going to put his personnel in there, and then it's going to start to work. What is Steve saying? Doug, first slot of free agency is open March 18th. I would address two needs: Jack Conklin, guard, Beasley or Flower, defensive end, then go in the draft. Yeah, the tampering starts on the 16th, and then 18th is when you actually can start to sign. The Dolphins organization was tanking last year, but the coaches and players weren't. Get it? No, I disagree. But, when I tell people I disagree, and then when I tell them why I disagree, I get called delusional. That's what I get called. Because people see it as tanking. People see what the Dolphins doing is tanking. They weren't going to trade Laremy Tunsil, but they offered 2 first-round picks. You offer a quarterback's ransom for a left tackle, it's hard to not pull the trigger, right? So that happened. And everyone's like, they're tanking. They're tanking. Then Micah Fitzpatrick was a big crybaby that didn't want to be on the team anymore because he didn't want to lose. He didn't like losing. So they sat him down. They said, hey, we want to keep you. What can we do to keep you? I don't want to stay here. I'm a big baby. So they traded him, feeding into the tanking situation. And you got to look at the bigger picture. The Dolphins were building for the future. The Dolphins had to get rid of contracts that were ridiculous. Kiko Alonso. They traded Kiko Alonso and everyone had a heart attack. Look at the Vince Beagle who did better. See what I'm saying? So people want to say, oh, the front office was tanking, but look at the situation the Dolphins are in right now with the tanking that the front office did. They have 5 picks in the first 3 rounds. They have the most cap space in the NFL. They have a head coach who won them 5 games with a depleted roster. So it's not tanking. They're rebuilding. There's a difference. Because if they were tanking, if the front office was purposely tanking, they would not, and I said this from jump when it happened, if the front office was purposely tanking and the front office wanted that first overall pick, they would not have signed Ryan Fitzpatrick. They would not have done it. They would have stuck with Ruddick, and they would have brought in Rosen, and that would have been your quarterbacks for 2019. That would have been it. They brought in Fitz. So that's how I feel about it. You may feel differently, and you have every right to feel the way you do. The only difference is I don't call you delusional and call people names when they think that the Dolphins are tanking. I get called so many names when I say they weren't. What's up, Muzz? How you doing, bud? How you feel about your Giants? Muzz, do you think the Giants are going to take Okudah at 4? Rosen is garbage. Needs are filled in free agency and depth is in the draft. That should be our offensive approach. That way they can take the best player available and avoid disaster like Charles Harris. Yep. No. What's up? I'm going to call you Hip Hop. What's up, Hip Hop? Rosen? Rosen's Rosen. They're going to keep Rosen on the team. They're going to have Rosen compete. Rosen needs to get the speed of the game. He needs to. That's the thing, too. And I'll talk about this because I know a lot of. Excuse me. I know I have a street light right here. So I have this block and I'm on the corner and I have to deal with honking. This is the thing about Rosen. And I know a lot of Rosen fans are going to get mad at me about what I'm about to say, right? The reason that when Rosen was in, he struggled, right? And then all of a sudden Fitz came in, like the Redskins game, right? Rosen was in there and he was struggling, so they put Fitz in, and all of a sudden Fitz started clicking. Is because Fitz can slow down the speed of the game. Fitz knows how to read an offense. Fitz knows how to shift protections. Fitz knows what to do. So he knows how to slow down the game, whereas Rosen still needs to learn how to slow down the game, still needs to learn about the timing of the game. Again, I'm not saying Rosen's a bad quarterback. I'm not saying Rosen's not going to be on the Dolphins next year. I'm not saying Rosen's going to not become anything. I'm not saying any of that thing. I'm just telling you guys what's the difference and why Rosen didn't play all of last year, most of last year. He's got to. It's here. This is what Rosen's problem is here. He has the mechanics. He has good arm strength. He has, good pocket presence. He can run. He can do all these great things. But Fitz knew how to play against a defense. Okay, my offensive line isn't great. I have about this much time in the pocket. These guys are going to send the house at me because this offensive line can't block for more than 3 seconds. So Rosen would drop back, Fitz would drop back, and he would do his progression quickly because he knew in his head, my God, I don't have time. And you saw it against the Eagles. You saw it against the Giants. I was there for the game where he took off running a ton of times. That's the reason he was a leading rusher on the team. Is because he would drop back and he would count. He would look, crap, feel the pressure, take off running. Rosen is still stuck. Do you blame the kid, though? He had 3 offensive coordinators in his first 2 years. He's stuck. I think Chan Gailey might help him. We'll see what Chan Gailey can do with him. But also, and a lot of the things I say to you guys is thinking about it's to keep you guys level-headed. That's very true, Dominic. You got to reword that, Dominic, but that's very true. A lot of the things I say to you guys is so when it happens, you guys don't say Josh Rosen gets traded, right? And then Roadrunner gets really pissed at the Dolphins organization and starts yelling at me. You just got to be prepared for certain things like that. I learned from Laremy Tunsil. I learned from the past with the Dolphins, right? I'm not getting my hopes up with this head coach because in the past, when a head coach did well the first year, I got my hopes up, and then I got crushed the second year when they didn't do as well, right? And I'm doing the same now after learning about the Laremy Tunsil situation. I didn't want the Dolphins to trade Laremy Tunsil. I didn't think they would, and when they did, it hurt. So just gotta prepare yourself. I'm not ignoring people. I love how people keep saying like Steve and Muzz. When I go off on a tangent, I got to get it out because if not, I'm going to forget. So let's go with Steve. Fitz is doing all these plays. Is it because he is a vet? It's combination, Steve. It's a combination that he's a vet. He knows the speed of the game. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying, Fitz is better than if Fitz and Rosen came in the same year that he'd be the better quarterback. What I'm saying is Rosen's downfall is the speed of the game. It's too quick for him. So essentially Fitz could do everything he could because he's a 15-year vet. Rosen is a second year, essentially a first-year quarterback. He needs to get the speed of the game. And what did Muzz say? Would you want to trade for Alshon Jeffrey? He's like, no, I'm not trading for a wide receiver. This draft is deep at wide receiver. I am not trading for a wide receiver. Do you watch boxing? Will you stream the Wilder Fury tonight? I do not watch boxing. I'll check it out, though. I'm not going to stream it, though. Whose birthday is it? Where I miss it? Whose birthday? What's up, Dougley? What's up, Kyle? How you doing, bud? It's my birthday today. Gretel. It's Gretel's birthday today. Happy birthday, Gretel. Well, happy birthday, Gretel. I apologize for that. Maybe the deepest in history. Yeah. So there's no point in trading for wide receivers, especially in this draft. If you want a wide receiver and you're the Dolphins organization, just draft them. I can't wait to see him in our season. When does the preseason schedule come out? The schedule's probably going to come out in April, end of March, beginning of April. W SmackDown, Monday Night Raw. What? I'm definitely going to be watching that fight. Yeah, I heard good things about it. Should we sign a free agent running back? Yes. In my personal opinion, I'm doing both. I am signing a free agent running back, and I'm drafting a free agent running back. You like the Robinson face-off? One problem with Miami's blocking was the quarterback didn't know which direction the rush was coming from. Yeah. You take off running all the time. Can't wait to see him. Dominic, I'm still trying to get who you can't wait to see. How about 18-game season in 2021? Well, supposedly the 18. See, that's the thing too. The CBA, they had I'm hearing that the players are not happy with it, so it's probably not going to get passed. But if you guys didn't watch my last video, there was a new CBA that was going to come out where essentially it was going to be 7 playoff teams on each side. So you would have 3 wild cards and then 4 division winners, and then there would only be 1 first round bye. So the number 1 seed would get the bye. I like that move. And then they also wanted to implement having a 17-game season. So essentially, instead of there being a 17-week schedule, it'd be 18-week, and then we would lose the 4th preseason game. That is where the players are not happy. That's where the players are probably going to vote this down. They haven't voted it up or down yet. The owners have voted it through. Now it's up to the NFLPA and the players. And I don't see it going through. Is there someone in free agency you would like as a left tackle? No, I'm probably drafting a left tackle. David, probably drafting a left tackle. Everybody is saying the Bengals will choose Burrow, but I believe they will choose someone else. There's like a curse about first round pick Heisman that will affect Dolphins. This draft is going to be fun, and I'm live streaming it. So be sure to hang out for that live stream. This draft is going to be super, super fun. I can't wait because we don't know. The top 5 picks, we have no idea. So essentially, the way the first 3 picks fall will tell us how what will happen to us. Like, I wish we knew why the players didn't like it. They didn't like it because you're adding an extra game onto the season. And what they don't like is the well, this is what I'm guessing. They haven't come out and said it, but this is what I'm guessing is they don't like the percentage that the owners are getting versus the players getting when it comes to adding $5 billion in revenue with the extra playoff game and with the extra regular season game. They go from getting like 47% to 48.5%. So they get like a 1.5% boost. The players, where it's like the owners are still making bank. Gretel, the combine I think it starts tomorrow. The combine starts tomorrow. Doug, what if Joe is to sit? Wait, what if Joe falls to us at 5 and Tua is there as well? Who are you drafting? Jeez, that's a hard question. That's a hard question because I honestly is the combine in 2 weeks? No, I think the NFL combine is tomorrow. March 23rd to the 2nd. Yeah. February 23rd to March 2nd. Dominic. Combine's tomorrow, my dude. Yeah, if Joe Burrow and Tua are there at 5, I don't know. Because Tua's hip injury bothers me, and Joe Burrow only having 1 good year bothers me. Yeah, just so you guys know, the combine starts tomorrow, the 23rd. It's the 23rd to March 2nd. So it's tomorrow up until Monday. You guys are throwing out all these dates. The NFL combine starts tomorrow, fellas. The combine starts tomorrow, right? So essentially, tomorrow is when everyone comes, shows up, does all their thing, right? Then the 24th is when they start to do their stretches, all that stuff. And then Thursday, the 27th, is when tight ends, quarterbacks, wide receivers go. Friday, the 28th, is when special teamers, offensive line, running backs go. Saturday, the 29th, is when defensive line, linebackers go. And Sunday, March 1st, is defensive backs. And that will be the last day of the combine. But it starts, essentially, everyone shows up tomorrow, the agents and all that stuff. Yeah, I just Googled it. Combine starts, but no events. It's just players showing up. Yeah. The events start the 27th. The combine starts tomorrow. Plain and simple. Every team needs Chase Young. Who's your number 1 guy to sign a free agency. Offensive lineman, either Thuney or Conklin. I'm probably leaning towards Thuney, though. Now I know how you feel when you say anything against the popular opinion. Yeah, you get attacked. I will say that. What's up, Cody? Not like maliciously attacked, but like say like 90% of the fan base likes Josh Rosen, and I said I don't like Josh Rosen. You hear it. You hear it. We should get 3 offensive linemen in the first round. Even if we get a quarterback, we still need to protect him. Casey, I agree, but disagree at the same time because you can't reach for players. Say you have a guy sitting there at 18, right? And you can get that offensive lineman at 26, but you have this great pet. I hate this. Just so you guys know, in my apartment building, there used to be somebody that lived in my apartment building that moved to another apartment building, and they keep having things come to my apartment. So I got to deal with the doorbell all the time. I'm not getting up. You might have to deal with that doorbell ringing over and over again. Chase on the Dolphins is huge. If the Dolphins trade up to 2, and I've said this time and time again, say the Dolphins pull the trigger and they trade up to 2. I don't think they're going for a quarterback. I do not think they're going for a quarterback. I heard that Richard Sherman wants 30 years of insurance after retirement for NFL players after 3 years pro eligible. They put their bodies on the line, these players. These players constantly are getting head-to-head collision, all this stuff. And back in the day, when you would retire, they were like, all right, you're done. And they wouldn't care about the players after you got retired, like in the 80s, maybe even the 90s. It wasn't until like the 2000s, once that CTE started coming out, that the NFL started having some type of retirement plan for these players that put their bodies on the line for them. The owners don't give a crap about the players. They do not give a crap about the players. And it's sad. What's up with Gurley/Gordon rumors? That's all they are. They're rumors. You don't trade up that far for anything but a quarterback. But if say the Dolphins do trade up to 2, Joe Burrow goes 1. I don't take Tua. I'm not trading up for Tua. I will say that. Now, I might be in the minority. If Tua is there at 5, I potentially take him. I'm not trading up for Tua. Not. I love his play. I love his throwing ability. I love his pocket presence. I love all that stuff. His hip injury worries me. And I'm not trading all that capital to get to 2 to take Tua. That worries me. If Tua is there at 5, though, that's a different subject. I might take Tua at 5. But where's your tank for Tua shirt? I never had one. Did they make them? When do you think Jordan Love will go? I think Jordan Love will probably go to the Colts. That's what I think. I think Jordan Love will go to the Colts. Yeah, I agree, Am. If Tua is there at 18 by miracle, then I'm taking him. If Tua is there at 18, I'm running. I'm physically running from New Jersey all the way to Las Vegas to the podium to put that in. Are we going to the ship? Are you talking about the Super Bowl, Cody? People who have Tua's injury always re-injure. That's not true. That's not true. Name some other people who've had Tua's injury. I'm not saying that to be like a jerk. I just don't know other people. I know like CJ Mosley had a hip injury and he didn't re-injure his hip. Chris, I'm warming up to Herbert. The more I am looking into Herbert, the more I'm liking him. He needs to be groomed better, though. He has some downfalls. Like his arm strength and all that stuff is good, but his accuracy is off. It's off. So I don't know. I don't know if I'm taking him at 5. I feel like we can get someone better at 5 than Herbert. Do you think we will make a big free agency signing? If so, who do you take? I don't think it'll be big. Bo Jackson is not the same. Bo Jackson is not the same as Tua. Not at all. And I hear that all the time. I hear that all the time. Bo Jackson, Tua just had, and Bo Jackson was never the same. It is not the same injury. Bo Jackson and Tua are not the same injury at all. Did they hurt their hip in the similar way? Yes. But Tua had his hip put back in place on the field, then was rushed into surgery to have it surgically repaired, and then has been having extensive training and all that stuff. Bo Jackson did not have his hip put back in place on the field. He actually did not have his hip put back in for a couple days, maybe even a week afterwards, which then ended up having damage to his hip because he didn't have it put back properly and didn't have surgery on it to repair the hip. So all of a sudden, Bo Jackson's hip injury cost him his career because of how it was handled, whereas Tua, his hip was fixed within a day. So to compare Tua to Bo Jackson is completely wrong and misleading. Two different scenarios. Also, one happened about 30 years ago, and the other happened during a decade where technology in the medical field is far, far more advanced. What's up, Mitz? Should we get Ngaku? I wouldn't. It depends on how much. Brett. Not Brett. Aquamelon. Depends on how much. I'm not breaking the bank. It all depends. Should we go after Chris Jones? Depends. The Dolphins aren't in the mindset anymore of where they used to be for throwing money at players. I know I've said it. I'd rather trade back 5 before. If we stay at 5, I wouldn't be against trading up from 18 into 10, 13 to grab another stud player. Whoever we take is sitting anyway, especially at quarterback. Would you trade for Carr or Mariota? I would trade for a Carr over Mariota, but I don't want either. I like Reed, but can he stay healthy? You're talking about the tight end? I'm not touching Spangler for me. I'm not touching Reed with a 10-foot pole. That man needs to retire. He needs to listen to Luke Kuechly, and he needs to retire. Reed has been in concussion protocol for 6 months. He needs to retire. No one's going to sign Reed. And if they do, shame on them. He needs to retire. Charlton Tacos? Yeah. I liked his play. He kind of disappeared, though, which bothered me. Do you see Tom Brady switching teams? I see Tom Brady testing free agency and seeing what he can get, and then probably just going back to New England. Do you think we'll draft a running back in the first? Probably with the 26th or early second. I see the Dolphins drafting a running back. I like to have Rashad Jones this year for veteran leadership, and he's damn good when healthy. What are your thoughts? Yeah, Chad. It's going to be hard for the Dolphins to move him. It's going to be very hard for the Dolphins to move him. If you want Carr, Mariota, Tannehill, Newton, don't. Fromm is there in the second. See, but the difference is, and this is the difference, and a lot of times why teams will grab free agent quarterbacks, is you know what you're getting in a free agent quarterback. You don't know what you're getting in these drafted quarterbacks. Antonio Brown needs to be banned from Miami, Florida. Trade our DN Harris for whatever. Cam Akers was our last pick in the first round. All of these medical questions will be answered by the best doctors in the world behind closed doors. It won't be public. 100%, Dominic. I think tomorrow is when the physicals start. That's why the combine starts tomorrow. That's when all the physicals start, and that's when all that stuff, their physicals, their height, their weight, their hand span, their arm spans, that all starts tomorrow. They get all that stuff done. Get Winston? Well, he just had LASIK eye surgery, Jameis Winston, so maybe he won't throw as many interceptions. 10 is a free agent. Oh, wait. Yeah, he is. But he ain't coming back to Miami. He is not coming back to Miami. He's going to stay with Tennessee. They'll probably franchise tag him. I got Fromm as the sleeper in the draft like Russell Wilson was in his draft. You said it right there. You don't know what you're getting. That's why you don't trade up. Yeah, I'm not trading up. I saw that too, Cloud Life, Tennessee, Tom Brady to Tennessee, which would be ridiculously funny. Because there's a lot, again, I'll say this, and I'll say this one last time. Don't hate Tannehill. Never hated Tannehill. I actually like Tannehill. I think he's a good quarterback. But there's people that are still that are Dolphins fans that love Tannehill. The man can't do anything wrong. And if Tom Brady went to Tennessee and Tannehill sat behind Tom Brady for another year, oh my God. Albert Wilson might resign with Miami Dolphins. That would be smart for him and for the Dolphins. He's due $10 million this year, and if he wants to stay on the Dolphins and he wants to do anything with the Dolphins, he needs to resign. I heard rumors. Tom Brady is not going. Those rumors died a month ago. Tom Brady's not going to Miami. Those rumors died a long, long time ago. Jalen Hurts, that's probably a second, third round pick. Yeah. I'm very happy with what Tannehill did. He did what he's done for the Dolphins before. And that's the other thing that drives me nuts is a lot of people are like, why didn't Tannehill do that with the Dolphins organization? And that's the thing that always bothered me when people talked about Tannehill and his time with the Titans. And that's where I was like, guys, what are you doing? Is they would bash the Dolphins talking about Tannehill. And it would always make me laugh. Like, they made it seem like the Dolphins never did anything to try to help Tannehill out. Do you guys know that head coaches, when they come in, GMs, when they get signed, are literally linked to a quarterback? And if this quarterback doesn't succeed, you are fired. Like, that's it. So say like this year, the Dolphins do draft like a quarterback with that fifth overall pick, whether it be Burrow, Tua, or Hurts, or Herbert. Brian Flores is linked to this quarterback. So is Greer. So if this quarterback doesn't do well, they are fired. So when people would say that Tannehill, they never put anything around Tannehill, they never helped Tannehill, it's just not true, because if he didn't do well, they would get fired. They got fired. So like it always made me laugh that people would like talk about Tannehill and then bash the Dolphins. And these are Dolphin fans. And I'd be like, you know, he did this, right? Like first year under Adam Gase, what he's doing with Tennessee, he did this. He did what he had to do behind a good offensive line, and you can argue with me about that, but the 2016 Dolphins offensive line was a good offensive line. He had a good running game, and he did what he had to do. He did it. This Tannehill that we saw in Tennessee was no different. The only difference was his offensive line was better than the Dolphins' offensive line in 2016. His running back was better than Jay Ajayi. That's it. That's the only difference. So he performed a little bit better. It makes me laugh. Makes me laugh. You bash your own team for a guy that's not even on the team anymore. He's not on the team anymore, fellas. Doug, in my opinion, I wouldn't even talk about the draft just yet because all the smokescreen, no reason to talk about draft because anything could happen. We have to wait till draft day. 100%. 100%. That's why I made the video. Talk about the rumors and stuff because it's all rumors. We won't know until pick 5 comes. And when pick 5 comes, if we're there or not, that's when we'll know. That's when we'll know. Do you think Chris Greer can execute the rebuild? I think he can when he added Allen and McKenzie. He needed some help, and he brought in 2 guys who are very good at it, and I think that'll help. Philip Rivers and Miami don't. No. There's no point. Guys, the Dolphins are not going to sign a free agent quarterback. It's not happening. There's no point because they want to stick with Fitz for one more year. They want to draft a quarterback or have – see, this is the thing. We don't know what they want to do when it comes to draft a quarterback or have Rosen produce, but they're riding with Fitz, and then whatever quarterback they think is the future of the organization is going to sit behind Fitz or compete with Fitz and Rosen. So if it comes to Philip Rivers, Cam Newton, Tom Brady, Marcus Mariota, Derek Carr – any quarterback you can think of, Teddy Bridgewater, it's no. They're going to take the cap hit that they're going to have with these quarterbacks and put it in other places that are needed. Would you rather take Esponza or Thomas at 18? I think they would probably take Thomas at 5 and Esponza at 18. That's probably what I would do. No, it's Drew Brees in Miami. 151 in here. We only got 82 likes. I need 8 more of you guys to hit that thumbs up button. Let's get to 100 likes. I'm going to hang out for another like 10, 15 minutes, and then I got to clean and do things and be a productive human being on this day. It's a nice Saturday. I don't know what the temperature is outside. Let's see. Hey, Siri, what's the weather like? Let's see what the temperature is like in New Jersey.
It's currently 52 degrees in Trenton.
I'm not in Trenton. It's 52, so it's not that bad out. No one can pronounce it. Well, how do you spell it? Guys, I can't pronounce anyone's name properly, and it always makes me laugh how people get so bent out of shape that I can't pronounce names properly. Would you trade with the Raiders? Depends on what they give us. If they give us a first next year, possibly. I don't think the Raiders are going to be that good next year. It was max. It was 30. It was 29 degrees here yesterday. I was loving every minute of it. All these haters saying we can't do it and we can't rebuild. Look at the 49ers. They were 13-3 2 years ago, and they went to the Super Bowl. No one knows talent we have. Only we do. There's a lot of teams that went from sucking to Super Bowl or sucking to really good. To say that it's a 3-4 year process, yes, that's normally what it is, but it doesn't necessarily mean that that's what it's going to be. The Dolphins are building a team to contend for championships every year. Yep. That's what they did. That's what they're trying to do. They're not going to be throwing big contracts at players that are only going to be around for a year or two and then hope that, oh, this year or two. No, that's not how you build a dynasty. That's not how you build a championship. It's a slow process. It's a slow building process. What is your ideal first round picks? I don't know. A lot of these questions I can't answer because I'll say I want this, and then all of a sudden draft day comes and it's like, oh, I could have had this or I can have this. You know what I'm saying? What are your plans for today? I got to clean and then I might work out. Clean and work out and relax. And then the fiance comes home from work in about 2 hours. What's up, Tommy? How you doing, bud? Is it bad when the Raiders accumulated first round picks in the draft and they still ain't that good? Browns have done it. Browns get first round picks and it's not, again, this is where it comes to, it's not where you pick, it's who you pick. Because Baker Mayfield might end up being a bust. Not saying that, not saying any of the, it is or isn't going to happen, but it's not where you pick, it's who you pick. The Chargers took Ryan Leaf over Peyton Manning. See what I'm saying? Is Jim Caldwell part of the team? I don't think so. What's up, Vic? How you doing, bud? No, I don't think so. I think we just finalized our training staff. I'm not saying that we are doing what 49ers did. I'm just saying literally anything can happen. Yeah, no, I'm agreeing with you, Michael. I'm not saying you're wrong. If we don't take Fromm in the second, I'm telling you, you're going to feel just like when we passed on Russell Wilson. You never know. You never know. Hey, Doug, what are the most important positions to draft early? It depends on how the draft is, and it depends. This is the thing we got to realize with the draft. There are trends, and there are like things that happen that all of a sudden you'll start to see. There's runs is what they're called, right? So say the Dolphins need a lineman, right? All of a sudden at 18, like 14, 15, 16, 17, all of a sudden offensive linemen start coming off the board. That is a possibility that happens where all of a sudden there's a run at players or a run at positions. And that dictates what happens with the draft. If you guys ever want to know what the draft is like, it's not as accurate. Watch Draft Day. That's a good movie. I love that movie, Draft Day, because you'll see kind of what is going on. And it has happened in drafts before where, I'm working out on Saturday, where you'll see like someone, like there's a player that's like should be like the number one pick. Oh, this guy's a can't miss talent. And then All of a sudden, he doesn't get drafted. Then he doesn't get drafted again. Then he doesn't get drafted again. And all of a sudden, he's not getting drafted. All of a sudden, GMs start calling, coaches start calling. Why isn't he getting drafted? What is wrong with this kid? What is going on with this kid? And then a trend starts to happen. And that's what happens with the draft. We got Laremy Tunsil because of a trend, because of some BS that happened to Laremy Tunsil. He fell to 13. He should have been a top 3 pick. He fell to 13 because of a trend that happened, because of a run. All of a sudden, why isn't he? Oh, we're not touching the guy who had, this situation. We're not touching him. And he ended up not having any drug problems in the NFL. He ended up being a really reliable left tackle. He ended up being a really good player. So you never know. That's what happened with DK Metcalf. Exactly. People saw DK Metcalf. They said, this guy's huge. He's ripped. Look at him in the combine. Look at his all this stuff. But he's only one-dimensional wide receiver. He can only run one route as a wide receiver. He's not that great as a wide receiver. Then all of a sudden, he starts falling in the draft. They thought he was going to be a first-round pick. He kept falling. And then he got drafted to Seattle, and now he's actually a really good wide receiver. I didn't, Richard. Good on you for bringing that up. I'm like way behind. All right, trivia for today. I'll give you guys 2 trivias because I missed Thursday's trivia. So we'll do 2 trivias, and then I'm going to get out of here. All right? So for you guys who came a little late, we'll do trivia at the end for you guys. I made that in. We'll do 2 trivias. We'll do Thursdays, and we'll do today's trivia. All right? Keith, thanks for the $5 donation, bud. You keep it up. Keep up being an awesome human being. So here's the trivia that was on Thursday. All right, I'll give you guys a chance to answer it before I give the answer. What tight end on the perfect Dolphins team of 1972 wore the uniform number 88? Which Dolphin tight end from 1972 wore the number 88? I'll give you guys like a minute to answer. The Browns fired Freddie Kitchen one year. That's not right. They did not give him a chance to. Organization fell apart. Yeah, that's true, Chase. I should wait for the first right answer and then just move on. But yeah, one more time with the question. What Miami Dolphin from the 1972 team wore the number 88? He was a tight end. Let's see what you guys got. Who's Googling it? Be honest right now. Who's Googling it? Which one of you Googled it? Because you guys are taking a while to answer this question. And I feel like you're Googling it. Doug, we're not born yet in 1972. I was born in 87. But come on. Nope, 1972. Which I did. It was, Jim Mandich. Mad Dog Mandich. Mr. 305 got it right. Scotty got it right. Mace got it right. Samuel got it right. Flipside got it right. Yeah, 1972. All right, so let's do this one is more recent. This one's more recent. So here's the last trivia. Let's see if I make this in. I'm not going to look. No look, and I'm going to make it in. Ready? I didn't make it in. I didn't make it in. In week 7 of the 2017 season, what division foe did the Dolphins beat? We know this one. This one's easy. If you guys don't get this one's easy. In week 7 of the 2017 season, which division foe did the Dolphins beat 31-28 at Hard Rock Stadium to cap a season best 3-game winning streak? So week 7, 2017 season, we beat them 31-28 at Hard Rock Stadium. Who did we beat to have a 3-game winning streak in 2017? I feel like you guys are just going to all say that the division rivals. 31-28 was the final score, week 7 of this 2017 season. So this was the bad season. This is when Jay Cutler was our quarterback. Spangler, for me, got it right. First one to get it right. It was the Jets. It was the New York Jets. All right, Doug, I'm out of here, man. Hope I did good in the chat for that mod. Fins up, guys. You know what? You did, Josie. There you go, Josie. The Jets. Yes, it was the Jets. Oh, wait, Chicago. No, it was the Jets. Not the Patriots. It was the Jets. Spangler was at that game. Ugh. All right, fellas. I'm going to get out of here. I think the next video is probably going to come out Monday. I'm thinking I'm going to do the cut re-sign for the Miami Dolphins, who the Dolphins should cut, who the Dolphins should re-sign. I think that's going to be the next video that's going to come out Monday. And then I'm going to start breaking down available free agents. I don't know if I should do the ones that the Dolphins should target, but I'm going to do available free agents position by position. But other than that, it's always a pleasure hanging out with you guys. Like I said, I'm going to try to go live every other weekend and hang out with you guys. So I'm not going to be live next weekend. I'll be live the weekend after that. But other than that, guys, I hope you guys have a great Saturday. It's nice out here in Jersey. I don't know how it is where you're living, but if it's nice out, just go sit outside. Enjoy the day. Enjoy your family. Enjoy life. But like usual, stay classy. Fins up.